Hey guys and welcome. Hey guys and welcome to Ozzie Reviews. This is the 2020 Yamaha Viking 700 UTV. Now, I was actually approached by the manager of Elite Motorcycles in Toowoomba, who are the Yamaha dealer, and asked if I would review one of these UTVs. So I thought, why not bring it out to the farm for a week, put it through its paces and give you guys an honest review. So let's talk about the specs of it before we jump into the action. It has a steel tube chassis and frame. The dimensions on it are 3.1 meters long, 1.57 meters wide and 1.92 meters high. The total weight is 649 kilos. So I've got the headlights at the front and pretty much just a bit of a nudge bar there. Underneath we've got the bash plate, so that gives you a little bit of extra protection. So the front suspension is an independent double wishbone suspension, gives you a total of 205 mil of travel. It is the same in the rear. The hood is really easy to remove with the latches, just a half turn. And the hood can be completely removed, giving easy access to the electrical components, the battery, and also the radiator. Now the wheels here, we've got Maxxis Bighorn 2.0 tyres, so the measurement for them is 25 by 8 to 12 NHS for the front, and for the rear it's a little wider, it's 25 by 10 to 12 NHS. Now the cargo bed at the back is steel lined. The measurements on it are 1380 mil wide, 925 mil long, and 315 mil deep. Now it does say in the manual there that you can carry a load of 272 kilos, so I haven't quite put that much in it, but I've certainly had quite a few logs in it, and you know, it carries that no dramas at all. So if you do take the tailgate down here, so we've just got the latches on the side. Once it's down, it's the perfect size there to fit a pallet, so that's really handy. Inside too, obviously you've got 4 tie down points there, so you can you know, secure that with some straps or depending on whatever you're carrying there. Now the thing I really like about this tray is it's just a tilt tray, so it's so easy to lift up, and then the gas struts just hold it up there for you. At the rear you've got 2 brake lights, and then you've just got a standard 50 mil mounting bracket there for the tow bar. Also a towing capacity of 680 kilo. The motor is a 686cc 4-stroke single overhead cam, 4-valve single cylinder. We've also got electronic fuel injection. So on the door here, you've got the handle on the outside, which is pretty good because obviously you don't have to reach inside to open the door. We've also got these shoulder bolsters, which is basically just a hard bit of plastic that rests up against your shoulder. So when you're going around corners at speed and stuff, it just helps keep you in the cab. We've got 3 seat belts for the 3 seats internally. We've also got the padded headrests there as well. Now for easy serviceability, just under the driver's seat here, you can just lift up and pull that straight out. We've got the air filter, so you know, very straightforward and easy to be able to remove that and you know, clean it out. We've also got 4 drink holders, which, as I said on a quick preview of this on the Facebook page, fits those Federal 50 grain 22 Magnum bottles in perfectly, so great if you want to go out and have a bit of a shoot as well. Now it's got a constant variable transmission, or a CVT, so basically you know, when you're driving along it'll just adapt to the conditions, but we've got here 3 separate options. So we've got 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and also diff lock, so that's just easy enough to put that into whatever mode you want. Now we've got the headlights here, low and then also high. Got our handbrake, obviously our gear stick here with low, high, neutral and reverse. Got a horn down here, and obviously we've got our accelerator and brake pedal. Now the steering wheel on this feels really nice too. We've got power steering, but it just feels really nice and solid in your hand. We've got a handlebar here for the 2 passengers to hang on to. Got the glove box here, so you can store, you know, different items in there. We've got another little storage compartment down there. There's also a 12-volt cigarette socket, so you know, if you were running like a spotlight or something like that, you can do that. One thing I like about on the floor here is you've just got basically this plastic barrier just here that just prevents passengers from moving their feet over, you know, to the accelerator and your brake. So, you know, I think that's pretty good. So on the dash here, we've got an LCD display here with the speedometer, odometer, dual trip meters. There's an hour meter, four-wheel drive status, transmission position. There's a clock and also a fuel gauge. So let's start it up, take it for a drive. So what I want to show you here, guys, is just the engine braking. So once I accelerate and then when I take my foot off that accelerator, you'll hear that kick in. So if you're not used to that, it can be a little bit tricky when you first start to drive. You've really got to just keep your foot on that accelerator for a nice smooth drive. And when you use it for a while, you'll hear that internal fan kick in to keep the motor cool. So there's an inbuilt safety feature, so if you don't have your seatbelt on and you do accelerate, it will start to cut out on the motor. So I'll show you what that sounds like. So the fuel tank is 36.7 litres, and you can see here we've done 43 Ks and the fuel efficiency has been pretty good considering we've been driving it pretty hard. So it's just gone down a quarter. So what we're going to do now is tackle one of the really steep hills here on the farm. Now, as you can see from this clip that we'll jump to, it's about a 40-degree slope. So, you know, it's fairly steep. It's something that I normally wouldn't attack in a four-wheel drive. But we've got the UTV just in low, and we're going to see if we can crawl up it. So it did that reasonably easy. We lost a bit of traction there, but still it got up there no problem at all. Okay, so I've had a fair crack of the Yamaha, so I think I'll hand it over to Mrs. Ozzie now and see what she thinks. You reckon you can handle it?
Yeah.
Okay guys, so I'm going to wrap up my final thoughts on the Yamaha Viking 700. Now, I found it pretty enjoyable. When I first got it, I must admit, you know, that engine braking sort of had me stumped a bit. You know, it felt a little bit rough and jerky, you know, when I was driving it around. But, you know, I've had it for quite some time now and I've really enjoyed it, you know. I like the practicality of it. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the power in it, the acceleration, all that sort of thing. I find it fine for my needs, you know, here on the farm. It's just absolutely perfect. A couple of little dislikes that I've got is, you know, like the glove box there, you know, it feels real like plastic, flimsy, you know, it doesn't feel that good. The bonnet cover for me, you know, same sort of thing. It's just a bit of plastic there held on, and yeah, to me it just feels that little bit cheap, but that's just me being honest with things I don't like. And probably the third dislike that I've got is when I've gone to put the coolant in, you know, not in the radiator but in the actual coolant reservoir, it's really hard with the angle there, you know, when you're trying to put a filter in and then, you know, being able to pour that coolant in, you know, or funnel I should say. So, you know, for me that was just a little bit frustrating. But apart from that, I mean, look, if this was mine, I'd definitely be putting, you know, a snorkel kit on it so that I could get that air intake up higher out of the way of the dust for when we've got drought here on the farm. And also a really good light bar across the top because, you know, as you've seen in this review there, you know, the lights are acceptable, they do the job, but I'd love a really good light bar to lighten things up. So, you know, for me, the price, you know, $21,500, yeah, I would have liked to have seen those other couple of little extras, you know, on the vehicle as standard, but, you know, it is what it is. So that's my honest thoughts. So what about you? What do you think, babe?
Yeah, I think I can agree with you on most points there. Just, yeah, when you first get in it and that engine braking, you do notice it, and it takes a bit to get used to. I think by the second or third time I was used to it, and didn't even notice it after that.
You've got to manhandle it a bit, so to speak, yeah?
Yeah, you sort of...
I found.
Not drive it hard, but just drive it.
Yeah, yeah.
But also had a bit of fun in it, and sort of jumped it a little bit and spun it around, and did the old acceleration test, and it goes good. It's good for the inner hoon.
So what do you think though, like, because you're more used to just motorbikes, so what do you feel with this, like going into a UTV? Is there a real big difference, or?
Oh yeah, massive difference. But I think this is very suited to the job. Like, this has got its job, and it's definitely made to do it. It's made to work. It's made to haul stuff, tow stuff. Yeah, it's definitely made to do what it's doing. Yeah,
I agree. All right, guys, look, we'll wrap up the review there. Hope you really enjoyed watching it, because we've certainly had a lot of fun making it. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next review.